Dr. Artie Singh, and you're a professional in this space. We'd love to hear your excitement and anything you'd like to add value to our call tonight.
Sure, absolutely. I think Dr. Steve did such a great job explaining explaining frequencies and so forth. And it's all about keeping it pretty simple and straightforward and like, simple and stupid. Keep it simple, stupid, something like that. That's how it goes, I guess. I've been into frequencies for a long time. I love the work of Einstein and Tesla. I know that's weird, but it's a brain. It gives you a brain freeze anytime you read this stuff because it's so deep down and so forth. But what I loved about it was that it really answers a lot of questions about us, and answers a lot of questions about us in terms of our bodies and so forth, and the frequencies that we have. And they've been around for over 100 years in terms of understanding and using them. Because back in the early 1900s, when Einstein said it's nothing but energy, there was a lot of physicians that took that advice from Einstein, and they themselves then started to figure out, hey, what are these frequencies? What are they? What is it? What's the frequency for a liver? What's the frequency for any kind of acute issues that are going on in your body, for the brain, and so on and so forth? And there's so many frequencies, and they just came up with this. And these guys would then use this with some archaic devices to try to get these frequencies into patients' bodies. And I read some of the work from back then, and it was amazing what was happening because people were actually literally healing from the inside out. And so then they turned this concept of that healing and saying that healing is voltage. And as a good doctor just said, previously, it's really about changing that aspect in the cellular level, and the body then starts to heal. And so then later on, I got a chance to, let back up for a second. Then the government in this country basically shut down all of those frequencies back in the early, in the 1930s. And so nobody was doing that until a brilliant chiropractor, in my view, Carol McMacken, happened to literally fall upon these frequencies because her good friend bought an office from a guy that used to do these frequencies many years ago. And he had like a book, thick book with all these frequencies in there with specific aspects of how to take care of certain issues and help people heal and so forth. So then she started working with that. And then lo and behold, the first thing she started to do was that she herself had, I think, fibromyalgia, and she started using that on herself, and then she started using, and it made a huge difference for her. Then she started using it with her patients. And lo and behold, it just started to expand. And then she started to teach this to the rest of the profession. And so I ended up, about 3 years ago, I ended up learning about her. And so I ended up learning this stuff, and she teaches at the Cleveland Clinic on every year, once a year. And I went to one of those last year, and it was amazing to see the changes in patients. You had a patient with a frozen shoulder, and she would say, it's this frequency, that frequency. She'd put the device on her shoulder, and bam, they get the function back. And I could go on and on and on. The bottom line is this: we have an ability now to have a piece of device that we don't even have to, as Dr. Steve said, we don't have to think about it. It's already pre-programmed with all and what it needs. And Dr. McMacken, I bless her in the sense that she figured out what frequency goes where and there. And so in our practice, we literally try to figure out what the frequency and try to then use it. But now we have a tool that can make it that much easier. It's an exciting time we have in our ability to really heal from the inside out. As Dr. Steve said, we definitely need this stuff because there's too many things that are causing issues in our bodies. And we have way too many people that are sicker than ever before. We have way too many people that have autoimmune issues. It's just continuing to be a huge challenge. And modern medicine just doesn't have the tools. And here we are sitting on something that can actually change the dynamics for so many people. That's what excites me more than anything else, because it's going to make the change that we all deserve and we need, because we literally are getting to the root cause of the problem. And that's what's going to make the big difference.
Artie, when you think about it, it really wasn't even just the 1900s when frequency medicine began, because, I started my career out in the 70s when I started practicing. One of the things I studied was homeopathy. And homeopathy goes way back to like 1700s. And to me, that is the root of all frequency medicine or energy medicine. When you think about homeopathy and homeopathic remedies, it's all energetic. So it has a long history. Energetic medicine has a very long history, even in our country. And up until the 1930s, I like to tell people that every physician in the United States was actually a homeopathic.
Well, that's true. They were.
Yeah, they were. And the original Merck manual, if you have one, I have the very first one sitting on my bookshelf from 1899.
Yeah, I have one too.
It's the guidebook for all docs. And if you look through it, what you see is you don't see any pharmaceutical meds.
You don't.
It's natural substances, herbs, and homeopathic remedies. The way I look at it is, if it worked then, why isn't it effective now? Well, it is. So again, it's the whole idea of, natural medicine versus pharmaceutical medicine and money and power, and I won't go into that.
We can talk about that forever.
Right. But the bottom line is that it's just exciting that it's becoming accessible to the average person now. You don't have to actually be a practitioner anymore to be able to utilize this. We're actually putting it into your own hands so that you'll be able to have the ability to use it. And as I said earlier, it's all about self-care, healing thyself first.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you again, Dr. Stephen, Dr. Singh. What excitement that you bring. I know that without bringing up anything specific, I know with my particular well-being and my body, I can't wait to get the healing, because I know that just right here at home, I'll be able to address some things that are going on with Sheila. And so, being in the people business, I know everyone on this call tonight, when you heard about healing, you started thinking about how this can make your life better from a self-care standpoint. And so it's so exciting that, like I said, anyone can get the healing and start taking charge of their health, right from their very own home.
Well, tonight's my first night learning about it, but I have been a homeopathic practitioner for over 35 years. So I've been using energy medicine and yoga and lifestyle medicine for probably 45 years. It's the way I work with my clientele, and it sounds really nice. I mean, it would be lovely to have something that a client can actually take home and own ourselves. I mean, I work on that through diet, lifestyle, through the epigenetics of everything. And yes, getting to the root cause of an issue certainly is great. And energy medicine is awesome. I mean, sometimes I'll just write the name of a homeopathic remedy on a piece of paper, and my client can feel better just in that particular, just the energetics of the word, of the name. So I'm interested to learn more about this particular product, the cost and how we get it, and all the rest. I would love to learn a lot more about it. Sounds wonderful.
Well, thank you. Thank you for sharing. And we do have another presentation coming up tomorrow night, and the person who invited you here can send over a full recorded presentation as well with all that information. And we're just so glad we're attracting professionals like you that already has a heart for healing. And I know several of my friends that I have some guests on tonight are actually team members that are into homeopathic type of healing therapies, and I'm just so excited, and I went to them very first because I knew they would catch the vision of the healing product and the opportunity. Thank you so much, Amy.
Can I ask you one question?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So this machine or this item has come onto the market since just a couple of days ago?
Okay.
Released in the United States on May 1st, but it's been used all through the world in Europe and Asia and other countries for the last year. But you need to realize that this device is not a new device because it's based on the original device, which is a doctor's-only professional device called the Time Waver, that has been in Germany for the past 14 years, used by more than 2,500 German MDs and practitioners with over 500,000 patients. So it's been tested and proven over time. And what basically they did, which was the dream I had, because I have a device similar to the Time Waver, they were able, after the last 4.5 to 5 years, I think it cost them $20 million of research, but they were able to shrink the components down into a product that's the size of the palm of your hand. And then with the benefit of using the cloud that we have now, to be able to store all the 144,000 unique frequencies in a German secure medical cloud, and then with the attachment of the quantum sensor, which can fit in the palm of your hand, to your cell phone, which now has the apps that you need. There's a triangle effect that's made. Through the artificial intelligence, we're able to scan ourselves first. The information goes into the cloud, instantaneously comes down, tells us which programs, and then we can deliver it right from our phone. So it's remarkable. You can't hear.
Where is the place now? Now that there's the COVID thing and the coronavirus, what's happening with any sort of kind of experiments and people and clientele and patients using this machine with this particular challenge today?
Well, that's an interesting question. And the reason why it's an interesting question is because the medical team that puts together all the programs and the frequencies that are used got together about a month ago when this whole situation started coming down the path, and they said, we need to do something about this. We need to protect all of our people that have this device. And so they got together, figured out the specific frequencies that were needed, came up with a whole different program, which is, as people get it in the next couple of days, it's the one that's called the Bioenergetic Balance Program. It's a unique, specific, standalone program. And they delivered it to everyone's Healy for free. So when they turned on the Healy the next day, all of a sudden it said, program update. This program came up, and they suggested that everyone that uses the Healy runs this program at least once a day.
That have COVID.
I'm not going to address any specific medical conditions by name because we're not allowed to do that.
Okay, so what about
basically, it optimizes the immunity for any condition, and we cannot say COVID-19. That makes total sense to everyone, I'm sure.
Right.
That addresses hopefully your question. They're on it, and they have tons and tons of new programs that they shared with me privately a couple of days ago that are coming down the pike real quickly. Just to let people know, they're going to have a whole animals, dogs, cats, horses. They're going to have a program for learning a language in 6 weeks. They're going to have a program for anti-aging, which includes the frequencies for the stem cells of all the organs in the body. They're coming out with a program that has every single emotion and how it relates to every organ and the underlying cause of all disease. So all of these programs are coming up, specific programs for children, and they'll be showing up every couple of months, and you'll have the opportunity, if you want to include those programs into your database. We all have the same device, regardless of which edition we purchase. It's just the number of programs we choose to get, and we can include in it that allows us to treat other aspects. So hopefully that.
Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thank you, Amy.
What type of doctor are you, Doc Steve?
I have a DMD, NMD, OMD, and ND. So my degrees are in nutritional medicine, orthomolecular medicine, naturopathic, and I actually started out at the University of Pennsylvania in the 70s in the field of dental medicine. I'm the type of guy that I just am always, studying and taking courses and teaching and whatever. And I just, over the years, I felt that those programs, that postdoc degrees that I accumulated were all important for where I was heading towards and the things that I was doing. So I continue to learn all the time. So I'm up to date with exactly all the technology, i.e. the Healy.
We know that Healy's got you intrigued, so head on over to ChooseHealy.com to see tons of Healy testimonials, hear reviews on the Healy technology, and how to easily get your hands on this game-changing and disrupting opportunity to support you, your family, your community, your clients, and your patients. We look forward to you scheduling a time to experience the Healy Resonance device from wherever you are. So head on over to ChooseHealy.com to receive all the information you require and to schedule your Healy Resonance experience today. You'll be glad you did. Get ready for the new paradigm of affordable energy medicine. It's here today and waiting for you. ChooseHealy.com.